All right, we are recording. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Honeybees Monday night call. Yay! We have a great call tonight, and I'm excited. A lot of us were over at various trainings over the weekend, so we're going to share some takeaways and maybe talk about things that we got out of the training. So, in no particular order, like I said, I'm going to ask Lisa. You want to go first and give us some of your takeaways from the Massachusetts Super Saturday?
Sure. Hi, everybody. In no particular order of notes, some of my takeaways they were all fabulous and motivating and inspirational. And something that was said to me today by this woman that I know was also said kind of over the weekend about, like, how are you going to learn something new if you stay in one spot? So, like, in order to grow, you have to keep moving. So do something that scares you every day is like my new thing. And it doesn't have to scare you in a bad way. It just could be something you're nervous about or something that you're not feeling too comfortable with. That's the thing you need to work on the most, I think. So for me, I am printing my DMO planner, and my husband said, "What's a DMO?" And I said, "I don't know." So it is your daily method of operations planner, and it looks like this. And today I printed it out and I filled it out while I was at work, and I contacted some people. I followed up with some people. I invited some people. So it's just doing all of that stuff. So you can go to, where did I get it from? Danielle, where do you get it from?
You can get it from your virtual office.
Yes.
Or you can also get it, a copy of it in the Mission Driven Model.
That's where I got it, Mission Driven Model.
Yeah, so just using the tools.
And then another big thing was from Tracy Pontarelli. She talked about events, how to invite people, using your memory jogger, listing as many people as you know and keeping that list and using it. And she like highlights it, and she has different color coding as who she's talking to and what they're doing and if they've been to an event or not. So like that was really great. And Lisa on the HEAP team was there, and she talked about getting organized and having a system. So that's really what got me pushed to like do the DMO every week, every day. And Danielle and I also looked at passion planners that another woman had, and that's another great idea because you can look them up on Amazon. It has like hour by hour for the day. So for some people that like to be super organized like that, like it's just a great way to put in all the things that are going on daily, hourly. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I have 17 pages of notes about, but I don't know who else is talking about what.
We have a lot of people sharing tonight, but that was great, Lisa. So it's using the systems and the tools that are put in place, keeping yourself organized.
Yeah. And three-way calls.
Right, yeah. We hear that over and over and over again. 3-way calls, so important. That was awesome. Thank you. I think piggybacking off of that, I'm going to ask Michelle if you would unmute yourself and share, because there might be some overlap here, but you can carry over from what Lisa was sharing.
Yes. So Tracy asked us all to write down who we haven't talked to about Juice Plus yet. And I was looking around and everyone was writing so fast and diligently. And I'm looking around like, oh my God, I feel like I've talked about it with so many people. I don't know. And I was getting nervous because I couldn't even think about it. And then I wrote down like 5 people. People are writing 30 plus people. So for me, that was the most powerful. And it made me pay attention of different areas in my life where maybe I talk about Juice Plus a little too much, and where I then need to bring it or have conversations with. So that was really helpful for me. And Lisa said the same thing about how Tracy made her own Excel sheet that worked for her, and she had people highlighted in green that she had already spoken to, like the purple were people that she needed to get in touch with, and she just had it all color coordinated, which is very organized. But I think that helps a lot just to see it all in one place. So that was a big thing I took away.
I think, yeah, that's great. And again, like that system worked for her, and she came from, I think, what was it, a PR background or marketing background. So that was a system that she used in her JOB, and she implemented it into her Juice Plus business. But again, finding a system that works for you, that you're going to use, but having it in an organized place, and using something like the memory jogger that we can, again, get off from either missiondrivenmodel.info or from our virtual office, where it will give you like a what is it, like a 2 pages or a full page of all the people that are possibly in your life, like your doorman, your cleaners. Like we think, I've talked to everybody already, but really, like you pull out that memory jog, you're like, oh, the car wash. Like I didn't talk to the person at the car wash, of course. Right. So, doing that exercise too, writing down people's names is a great exercise. So I know, switching gears a little bit, Chris Ann.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead, and you're unmuted. Share your takeaways.
Yeah. I part of Saturday for me, I mean, everybody was like very inspirational, just like Lisa had said. But the one person who really stuck out to me was Dr. Pamela Benitez. And she was a doctor. I think she had mentioned too that her husband was one as well. She was a surgeon, I think she had said. She just, I don't know, she just impacted me in some way. She talked a little bit in the beginning about her own story, how she had West Nile virus years ago, and she was, somebody did, one of her patients, I believe she said, offered Juice Plus to her, and she didn't have enough research on it, she said, because years ago we didn't have that much like we have now. So because of not having the research, she turned it down. And she said that her and her husband went around like crazy trying to find like the right doctor for her to help her. And I think at the end of the story, she said that they had gone with a stack of papers to the like top doctor and, put all this stack of paper on the desk to him. And he said, I think I want to treat you with whole food nutrition. And that's when she said to her husband, I want to go talk to so-and-so, which was one of her patients that recommended Juice Plus to her. And she wound up going on Juice Plus, and it actually like totally changed her health, and she's fine and healthy now. So that really impacted me because, she is a doctor, first of all, and you're literally hearing a doctor speak. And, it's one thing that I can look through my notes and like pictures that I took of the board. But when you're sitting in a room with a real, like a doctor really talking to you personally, it's very different when you're in the room with one. So, I feel like it's so important when you get to these events and these meetings that you do hear doctors speak. It's not only just like other people in the business. I mean, these are reputable. Like when we went down the city to see Dr. David Phillips, I mean, that was an amazing talk too. But she went on just a little bit about, answering questions that we have. Like when people, I have some notes here, like when people say to us, what is Juice Plus? I mean, as simple as that. And her answer was, it's fruits and vegetables dehydrated in a capsule. And she put, and it's that simple. And then she went on to talk about, vitamins and supplements, how, there's so many of them, but you still don't get everything your body needs from them. They're fragmented substances. Large doses of them can be harmful to you. One of the other girls who spoke, who was it that said that her son had overdosed on Flintstones vitamins?
Andrea,
right? I mean, that was like, scary. And then she brought up the research on vitamins and supplements and how they're very inadequate, the studies or something like that she mentioned. But then she went into all the research studies regarding Juice Plus and how it positively impacts several key indicators of cardiovascular wellness. And like, I'm in talks with one of my really good friends now who has heart trouble. And, for me to see that on the screen and her to talk about it, like that's even more proof to me to share with him what she said. because I care so much about him that I'm trying to talk with him about all this. She put it reduces stress levels with exercise. It improves our gum health, which we've heard. She talked a little bit about oxidative stress, how it reduces that, reduces inflammation. This was great too. After 80 days, 66% of reduction in an average of our DNA damage. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then she also went into DNA a little bit more, saying that the DNA strands, fewer DNA strands break after taking Juice Plus than before, indicating DNA was protected from damage. And that's just by taking Juice Plus. So, hearing that come from her was just amazing to me. So I really found that so interesting, hearing a doctor talk. I love when I hear doctors talk and when
She's
they're
an
there.
oncologist.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It was very powerful, and you're right. And that's so important, right? And protecting the DNA and repairing the DNA. And that's, again, why so many of us that are moms always go back to why it's so important for our kids to be taking it as well, or, women of childbearing age or that are pregnant, because you're literally impacting a human life. It's very powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'm going to ask Marie, I'm going to jump over to Marie, because you were in a totally different training out in Colorado. So share with us what that was, what you took away from there.
Well, I had 3 main points that really stuck with me as I left the training in Denver. One of the things was there was a lot of talk about Shred 10, a lot. And of course, we're all trying to get people on board to shred with us, and we're all having lots of great success. But one of the comments that was made was, sometimes it's easier to share with a person, a new person or prospect or what have you, a program as opposed to a product. So that might be an easier way to get somebody to listen to you if you want to share a program with them. Another takeaway was when you want to share with somebody who has cancer, and this has been kind of a sticking point with me, because I'm sure all of you probably, I know several people that have cancer, and I want to share, some of them I have shared with, and it's how, this is devastating news for their family, and how do you talk to these people? You don't want to impose, you don't want to be overbearing, you just want to help. And one of the comments that was made from, and I believe it was Dr. Miles who said this, was, ask that person, has your doctor shared with you the importance of adding fruits and vegetables to your diet? So you're not trying to impose Juice Plus onto them. You're trying to start a conversation with them about the importance of fruits and vegetables. And we all know that is very important for cancer patients. Minus the sugar, right? Minus the sugar that they take out of the capsules, because cancer feeds on sugar. So excuse me. So that's a good in for talking to those people. And the other thing, takeaway was kind of piggybacking on what Chris-Ann said, was the importance of these events. As I was sitting there and I was listening to, so we had, our main speaker was Dr. Valerie Miles. She's a famous pediatrician out of Florida, big in our company. And sitting there listening to not only her, but all the other speakers as well, and feeling the impact and the power of all of this. And not only kind of to validate ourselves being reps in the company and what we're doing and what we're trying to do, inspire healthy living, it gives validation to us and just kind of lights a fire under your butt. But also, I wished I had so many guests there with me, because when you get this third-party validation from other people, it's just so powerful. Like Chris-Ann said, it's so powerful. It really is. And you hear all the time, butts and seats, butts and seats, butts and seats. It's true. Get those people to events. Events are what grow our business. So the next time we have something here, man, I am going to call people like I never have before.
Yeah, good for you, Marie. That was awesome. I wrote that note down too. And it's true, butts in seats. And it's a third party validation, but also when they can hear it from a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that these doctors are not paid by Juice Plus to go and speak. You know, their reputation is on the line, and that just shows, you know, their credibility and their reputation is hugely important to them. That's what they have, right? And that they are going out there and doing these talks for us to help educate, you know, the public and the people on the importance of this nutrition. And I agree. I think many of us have been there where you've been at an event and think, oh my gosh, I wish so-and-so was here. I wish somebody was here. You know, like, let's not do that anymore. Let's get butts in seats. Let's invite and bring people. And now let's like switch over to the other training, the Branson boot camp. Buffy, unmute yourself. Let me see. I'll unmute you. Oh, we're both doing it. Okay, go ahead. You are unmuted. Share with us about the awesome Branson boot camp and your top takeaways.
Well, first, my kids want to say hi, and they were applauding you, Marie.
Yay!
Hi! Back, say hi. Get down, please.
Hey.
Come say hi. There you go.
Hey!
They're going to sit down quietly, and they are going to eat their dinner.
Very good.
They're on our team, and they want to go to Hawaii when I reach my goal.
That's
So
right.
to do that, they've got to sit in their seats
Junior
and
honeybees.
cooperate. I'll try to keep this really simple, concise, and short.
Okay.
What was reinvigorated in me at this boot camp was when they had said, well, what they had is they had two people on stage that everyone in the crowd knew she was an absolute vegan. And so she stood on stage, and the person said, I want you to convince the crowd how good steak is for you. And you could hear it in her voice where she was just, steak is, there's a lot of protein in it. You can just really hear. And then the other person was someone whose favorite steak is a high quality filet. And it was her job to say how being a vegan is the best way to go. And so she had said, I mean, you could just hear it in her voice, being authentic. And so what you're thinking really does make an impact on what comes out of your mouth. If you're truly trying to convey the power of fruits and vegetables, and if it's not coming out in your mouth because you're thinking, oh, they just think I want to sell them, it's going to come out in your voice regardless of what you say. So that was huge for me. So be authentic. Jay Martin was there, and he spoke about procrastination. The biggest enemy in our business is procrastination. And the cure for it is to start with the little things. And he literally said, write down your wins. You called so-and-so back. Write it down at the end of the night. I called her back. You sent a text message. Hey, I'm just thinking of you. How are you doing with your Juice Plus today? Whatever it is, it's those tiny little things. If procrastination is something that you're trying to get over, start with the little things and write down every single win. And another thing that was mentioned is, you know, the reason you have the customers that you do is because they have put a part of their trust in you. And so with that, you want to thank them. You want to genuinely thank them. You know, I want to thank you for trusting me because it's you. You're the one who you shared it with them. You educated them on the power of nutrition, but it's really who you are. And so again, being authentic and truly thanking your customers for trusting in you to be a part of their health journey. Mm-hmm. And so the other thing was, what really spoke to me were the numbers. I think Don Rathman went into the numbers, and you know, if you have a qualified business, you're bringing in about $500 a month. And if you have a 3 club, you have 3 people that are qualified, they've got 1,000 points running underneath them. That's about $1,500 a month. And if you have a 12 club, that's $25,000 to $3,000 a month. So even if I'm a sales coordinator and I've got club levels underneath me, that really spoke out to me, because seeing those concrete numbers in black and white, especially right now, the other thing was be transparent and vulnerable. Again, with that authenticity, right? And so, sometimes trying to go for the whole idea of the title SSC can be daunting to me. But then when my husband tells me if I make $1,000 more a month, I can pick out any car I want to buy, I'm thinking that's pretty awesome. So maybe it's the black and white numbers that you need to see on paper that are going to get you excited. But just starting and staying connected. We've talked about this a lot of times with our team. We get on here. It's great to see all of you here, your faces. But staying connected, Melissa said today about, staying connected to the nucleus. And so being present. And when you show up, that's when you are truly putting an effort into your business.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was a lot more, honestly.
I'm sure.
You guys, if there is a way we can get to Branson, like, I kid you not, like, can I just sit there, come.
We'll put it on everyone's calendar for next time. We should have a big turnout in Branson, because everybody said how amazing it was. And that's all I ever heard, is how amazing Branson Boot Camp is. So,
and I was like, come on, is it really that awesome?
It's that awesome.
It is. I mean, I've had someone else tell me that pageant is probably maybe a little bit better. And that's another killer boot camp. And I guess that's where how the boot camp started, was the pageant boot camps. But oh my gosh, all I could think of was how awesome it would have been to have the Honeybees there.
Yeah. Well, now we know next year. Thank you though, Buffy. That was awesome. I love that you had Jay Martin there. I love qualify your business. We talk about that over and over, right? Qualify your business and build qualifiers. And maybe it's not about a title for you, but it is about a certain amount of money, that would really impact your life. Like, that might be more important than a title. That's okay. It's whatever it is to you. That's okay, right? It's your business. Okay. And then we might end up going over a little bit. So maybe we go a little bit quicker, but it's okay. If you're okay with going over, I'm okay with going over. So Julia, do you want to unmute yourself? And you're going to share a couple of, did you just freeze as you were about to unmute yourself?
Hear me?
Okay. Now we can hear you. Yep.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm hiding in the bathroom. So if you can't hear me, I'm sorry. I'm literally hiding in the bathroom.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Can you hear? Okay.
We get it done.
Yeah. So it keeps going in and out. Okay, let me go. All right. So I really enjoyed the training on Saturday, and I'm really happy that I went. I took a lot of notes. So as I told Danielle, there's just so much I didn't want to, spend my time on one thing. But one of the major points that stuck out was because I have a lot of issues with being positive and like getting discouraged when customers say no or when people cancel. So hearing all these I guess bigger people in the company talk about them getting rejected, like Pammy Shepley when she was talking about how she vents to her husband and then she gets over it. And she said something I wrote down, go straight ahead and don't pay attention to what's behind you. And that really stuck out to me because I have a big issue with that. It always, makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong. But I've already did my part. I've brought something that I think is good. And I think about people that are important. And it's up to them whether they want to say yes, as everyone says, so yeah, I had most of all of the speakers, not most.
Right,
Lisa was awesome.
You're going a little in and out.
Dr. was awesome. So hold on, let me stand up. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I just want to work on positivity basically. And I enjoyed a lot of the quotes that they were saying. And I think she ended with worth it or you're worth
and
it.
you're, wait,
so That's Stacey, can you hear me?
All right, say it one more time. Say that quote one more time.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. You are worth it.
Yes.
Yes, that's how she. So
Yeah.
that's basically everything that I got from it.
Perfect. Which was a lot. Which is good. I'm glad you were there. Thank you. Thank you for going into the bathroom to share with us.
I'm gonna get out of the bathroom now.
All right. And did you want to share something real quick?
I left my notes in Michelle's car, so I had to quickly think of something that I took from the training on Saturday. For me, it's basically self-reflection and some aspects in my life that I would like to grow in. So it helped a lot that I heard someone else say it, that it's not me, just me, thinking negatively about myself and how I need to get that out of my head and out of my system and just move forward instead of being too afraid to do what I have to do in, this business and in my personal life.
Yeah, that's powerful, Angela. The fact that you took that away from this training, if nothing else, is extremely powerful. And I commend you for coming up there with us and for realizing that and seeing that. And I'm proud of you for sharing with all of us. And that's part of being vulnerable and transparent. So that's strength. There's strength in that. Thank you.
Thanks.
Rona, I know you're muted out. Do you want to say anything? And you could.
I'll just be really quick.
Okay.
So a few things that stuck out for me that we haven't touched up on is basically the tower garden. I liked that whole duo. By the way, are they husband and wife? I don't even know.
Yes, they were.
They were. Okay. I love the heave the hoe.
Heave the hoe.
I still think that's hilarious. I liked the questions like, do they garden? What do you like to eat? What do you garden? What do they want to accomplish? About food and sustainability and saving water. I thought that was awesome. And then another quote that I really loved at the end was the be resilient, be fearless, and be all in.
Yes. Yes. That was from Pam Shepley. And I'm going to cover a little bit about that now. Because that was probably the biggest part that I took away was Pam Shepley closed it out. And she went through 5 things that you need in order to do this business. So I'm going to run through that right now. And I'm just going to say we're going to go a little bit over. So if you're okay, stay on with us. If you have to hop off, I totally get it. So 5 things you need for this business. You need to be a people person. And you need to be a people person because you have to talk to people, right? In order to share Juice Plus or sell Juice Plus, however you want to say it, or Tower Gardens, you have to talk to people. And I think it's funny because I think of myself and I would never consider myself to be a people person when I started this business. I was shy. I was quiet. I hated talking to people unless I had to for my job or I had to just to get by. But in my 2-year journey from this business and the personal development that I have gone through, that I've been privileged to really sink into through this business, I am totally a people person now. And people that know me now are like, really? You don't like talking to people? Right? You guys have seen me at events. I talk all the time. I have no problem talking and I actually enjoy it, right? I enjoy having conversations with people and getting to know people and being in relationships. And so, if you think I'm not a people person right now and you have to be a people person, you can grow into that. These are skills you can develop, and the company and network marketing has resources and things that you can plug into to further develop those skills. The second thing is that you have to have some time. And, you don't have to have a ton of time, but this business is not going to work itself. So you do have to put some time into it, right? The beauty of this business, though, as I call it, is lifing with Juice Plus, right? Just weave this business into your life. Take it wherever you go, right? The one tool that you need to work this business goes with you wherever you go. That tool is your story, right? Where do you go where you don't have your story? You always have your story with you. You need nothing else, okay? That is actually not something she said, but I realized yeah, you have your story, right? Wherever you go, you have your story. Just share it with people. And then of course there's, customer care calls and inviting to events and things like that. Putting orders in, like maybe that you chunk into bits of time that you have in your week. If you only have 5 minutes to give a day, that's okay. If you have 15 minutes to give a day, that's okay. If you have an hour to give a day, that's okay. It's going to look different for everybody, but intentionally touch your business every day. Whatever the time looks like to you, intentionally touch your business in some way, and take your story everywhere you go. The third thing, you have to have a little bit of money. So you don't need a ton of money. And it only costs $50 to be a business owner, right? And to buy into this franchise. But you do need to be a product of the product. So you do have to have enough money to pay for the trio, absolutely the trio, and the complete shakes. Like that's key. And if you have kids, they should be on the gummies and the vineyard as well, so that you can have an experience. You cannot share Juice Plus if you are not on Juice Plus, right? You can't. So you need to have some money, and you need to look at it as an investment, right? That's an investment in your health. It's an investment in your business, and it's an investment in your future. That is a win, in my opinion, right? Wins all around. The fourth thing is to be teachable and coachable, right? And trust your sponsor, trust your upline. So, your sponsor or your upline, your NMD, wherever it falls, you need to trust them and know that they've done this before you. They're a step ahead, 2 steps ahead, whatever it might be. They've done this before you. So trust in them to guide you through the system, through the tools, through the resources, whatever it might be, to help you reach whatever your goal is. And be coachable. People would ask me, how'd you get to SSE so fast? How did you get to Q so fast? I trusted my sponsor, my upline, Melissa. Shout out, Melissa. And I was coachable, right? So I plugged in with her. I checked in with her. I asked a lot of questions. And, when she said, okay, you might want to do this, you should try and do this, I would go do it. I would give it a shot. And I trusted because I know she had done it before me, right? Like there's a system there. It works. So trust. And I love that we have a lot of trust on this team. Like we have a very special, unique trust. And I love that. I just want to say that. Number 5, and we touched upon this a little bit, one of my favorites probably, be resilient, right? And a few of you mentioned, be resilient. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be yeses and nos. Like this business ebbs and flows. We've all been through it. It was nice hearing other people like NMDs up there saying they've gotten no's to their faces. Like that happens. That's okay. You need to detach yourself from the outcome and not take it personally. It's not on us if they say no. That's on them. And like Tuli, like you were saying, it's for us to share with them. And it's for them to be open to receive the information and to say yes or no. Like, that's okay. We've done our part. And it's a discipline that you really have to work on, is to learn to be okay with that, to detach yourself from that outcome. But putting yourself out there is a good thing, right? And putting others before you, like that's powerful. We put others before ourselves. And that's why, such special people are in this business, because we are willing to do that. And, when we do that, that's like, that's when the magic starts to happen. And you do it because it's worth it, right? It's worth it. This business is worth it. This healthy living revolution is worth it. Like changing lives is worth it. And all of you are worth it. So what did she say? Step up and step out. Right? Step up and step out. And it was an awesome weekend. And then fortunately, when we were on the car ride home, Chris-Ann and I, we got a little live stream from a portion of the training out in Branson by Kimberly Warlow. And I just want to share a portion of it because it struck me and it was pretty magical. And it was about being brave. And Buffy mentioned being transparent and vulnerable. and that was mentioned a couple of times here, like that's powerful. Being transparent and being vulnerable is a strength, not a weakness. And I think we can all take something from that. But being brave, and here's the difference between being brave and being courageous. Being brave is feeling the fear in the moment and doing it anyway. Okay, so feeling the fear in the moment, but taking that step and doing it anyway. And this might apply to your business. It might apply to your job. It might apply to something in your personal life, anywhere, right? You feel the fear in the moment, but you do it anyway. And when you do that over and over and over again, and you do it enough, that's where courage develops. That's how we develop being courageous. So you feel the fear in the moment, you do it anyway, you do it over and over and over again, and you become courageous. And when we're brave in this business, lives change, right? Think about it. When we are being brave in this business, lives change. And that is very powerful. So if you've ever heard Chris Cotton do a training or on our calls before, I have a sticky note up on my desk as my reminder. Feel the fear and do it anyway. And I look at that every day. Feel the fear and do it anyway. So that is what I leave you with tonight, because I think that is so impactful and so important, and something that all of us can always work on and continue to work on. And I thank all of you for sharing tonight. I thank you guys for getting on. I apologize we went over, but I think this was awesome. So many great tidbits and takeaways. If anybody has anything to say and wants to unmute, please feel free. If you don't, then I can stop the recording.
I just want to say this has been an awesome call, and I love all the takeaways from everybody. It really is great information, and what you just said, Danielle, that was priceless, absolutely priceless. I have to remember that. I think I'm going to write that down and put a sticky note. Lights out. But one other thing I just want to mention is that, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's a Branson in summer. I think.
Yes, there might be. So we will check.
Yeah.
We will check dates and get the honeybees together.
Road trip. Oh, not a road trip. We have to fly there.
Branson this summer is in June.
June. Thank you.
Better not be June 10th. Please tell me it's not June 10th.
I don't have the exact date. I just remember them saying June and January.
June and January. All right. Very good. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and say thank you again to everyone who shared, and thank you for getting on. And this was an awesome call.
It was.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Good night.